Hi everybody, I'm Susan Mulvihill. Welcome back to my vegetable garden. Boy, I haven't said that for a while, have I? I've been on a bit of a break, but now I'm back. As you can see, our vegetable garden looks a little bit different. We've been cleaning it up and there's very few things left to harvest. So what's on tap for today? I'm going to harvest our leeks and give you some ideas of what to do with them. These are leeks, and specifically Bulgarian giant leeks. I've grown them for years and I never cease to be amazed that something as tiny as this can grow into something as huge as this. Leeks are members of the onion or allium family, and they have a milder flavor than onions, but they're just delicious. Now, we grow a lot of onions because we love using them in cooking. And this is one of the red onions we grew this year called Red of Florence, and they're wonderful. But I want to show you something interesting. So if you think about the amount of garden space this onion took to grow, it's probably about this much space, right? Well, that's the same amount that a leek requires, and this whole stem, let me get on the outside here, all of this is usable. So you really get your money's worth by growing leeks. Leeks are delicious in soups, stews, and casseroles, and you can easily use them as an onion substitute. Now, did you know that I have a video that shows you exactly how to make leek and potato soup? I've got that on my YouTube channel, but you can also find it on my website, susansinthegarden.com, by going to the guides menu and then looking for the Preserving the Harvest guide. It's right in there, easy steps to follow, and it is a fantastic soup, especially in the fall when it's so cold like today. Leeks are really cold tolerant, and I haven't been in a big hurry to dig them up because I've had lots of other things to take care of. But the important thing with leeks is to harvest them before the ground freezes solid, because otherwise you will never get them out. Ask me how I know this. I never made that mistake again. So I like to use either a spading fork or a shovel to dig them out, and their stems go way down, so I have to be very careful digging them up. Let's see if I can get this row started. We had a bunch of rain yesterday, so the soil is nice and soft. There we go. These ones on the ends are a little smaller. They're a little too growing together there. Look at that one. That is awesome. So I'm going to get all of these dug up, and then I'll take you inside to the kitchen and show you what I do with them. There's another nice one. That's not a bad haul from an 8-foot long row. Now, one thing I wanted to mention before I head indoors is how I planted the leek seedlings at the start of the season, because I'm planning to make quite a big change to that next year. So under ordinary circumstances, what I do is I start the leek seeds very early, usually early January, because they take quite a long time to develop. And then when it's time to plant them, I dig a deep trench or two in the bed, depending upon how many rows I'm planting. And I carefully plant the seedlings at the bottom of the trench. And then as they grow up, I slowly fill the soil around them. Now that process is called blanching, and that's because the goal is to keep the sun from shining on the stems of the leeks so that they stay nice and white rather than green. Now the green part of the stem is perfectly edible, but it's just something people do when they grow leeks. Well, I like to watch British gardening shows, and one of the things I've noticed they're doing is they do start their seedlings early, just like I do, but they don't dig a trench. Instead, what they do is they'll take a tool called a dibber that makes a deep cylindrical hole, put it at the proper spacing for the seedlings, and plant the seedling down in this hole, but they don't fill the soil around them because the seedlings would rot, right? So what happens is as they grow, that soil fills in around them and it accomplishes the same purpose. You know, making a trench in a raised bed is a pain in the neck, to be honest. So I really want to give this a try next spring. Well, here's just 2 of those Bulgarian giant leeks, and they really live up to their name, don't they? I've trimmed off the root end and I've peeled off a few of the outer leaves so I have nice pristine stalks to work with. I'm going to trim them off near the top of the usable part of the stalk, and I'm going to put these in just a plastic bag in the refrigerator because I have a couple of leek recipes I want to make in the coming days, and I'm very excited about that. But as you saw, I have a lot of leeks, so I wanted to show you what I do with the rest of them. I like to cut the leeks into 1/4 inch thick slices, more or less, and put them into freezer bags so I can use them for dishes later. It's so handy to just reach into the freezer, grab a bag, and I'm all set. And I've found that most recipes call for about 3 cups of slices. So that's the amount I'm going to put into each bag so that it's handy for a recipe. This is so easy. We have tried storing leek stalks out in our cold garage during the winter. They don't tolerate that well. And they'll keep for a while in the refrigerator, but this is just such a simple method. Okay, that's all for now. I hope you found this useful, and I do hope you'll consider growing leeks next year because they are awesome additions both to the garden and to cooking. See you later.